Welcome to Accidental Apprentice Podcast. I'm your host, Adam Melnick, and we are here for a very special edition of Accidental Apprentice. We are here at the Boys and Girls Club of Durham, and we're having a conversation that, quite frankly, I cannot believe in 2019. I'm still having this conversation, but we're having a conversation around bullying. And I have with me a member, a participant of the Boys and Girls Club of Durham, and in fact, we're going to call her a resident expert. And she's going to have a conversation with us today and answer a few of my questions and maybe tell us some stories about bullying. And I have just put her on the spot and her eyes are bulging out of her head. But she's smiling and she's comfortable and she is here for the show. And I'm going to say, I know you're a natural because the second you sat in that chair, you adjusted the mic, you adjusted the headphones, you sat back and you ordered a coffee. And I don't know who's going to bring you a coffee, but you have settled in. And so this is going to be a great episode. So how are you after that great big intro?
Good.
Good. Have you seen people or have you been bullied before?
Yes.
Yeah. Which is it? Have you seen it or have you been bullied?
I've been bullied and I've seen it.
Okay. So let's get into some of this. Straight out of it. What happened?
So there was this girl at school who decided that she would come up to me, or this was like the other day, but it's been happening for like 4 years.
Okay.
So she decided to come up to me and jump on my back. So and then she came up to me again, kicked me, punched me. I told the teacher, and then she came at me again, got a whole bunch of people, and decided that she would start a fight with me. Yeah, but then I just walked away.
Oh, wow. Okay, hold on. There is so much to unpack. Let's start with, right straight away, how did you feel?
Sad.
Sad. That one of the first things right away is...
And angry.
And angry. Mm-hmm. This is a common thread. We hear often that people, when they're bullied, we expect to hear that they're going to feel sad. But I think that's something that's surprising, is that people feel angry. And how long does that you feel angry for?
Well, the other day it took me like half the whole day just to forget about it.
Hold on. So then how did the rest of the day of school go?
Not that well, because then when I was at school at recess, she decided to come at me again. And then I got to the point that I just told my mom they're dealing with it.
So all of a sudden we go from just dealing with school, which can be challenging when we've all been through school, and now you can't even focus on school. Mm-hmm. Why do you think people, maybe not this bully specifically, but why do you think people are bullies?
To get something out of you, to get a reaction.
Well, what's that going to do for them?
Because if they're putting down someone else because they don't feel secure about themselves.
Oh, so it's going to make themselves feel better. Do you think there's a better way to make yourself feel better?
Yeah.
Yeah, what advice would you maybe give a bully that instead of being mean to somebody to feel better, what could they do?
Maybe try and, actually be happy.
Wow. Do you think it's really hard to be happy sometimes?
Yeah.
It can be, right? Some advice I've heard is not only tell an adult, but to tell somebody older than you. Do you think that works all the time?
Yeah, but no, because sometimes if, at school, if I would tell a teacher, sometimes they don't deal with it.
And then what happens?
And then it just gets it makes it a lot bigger.
Oh, it blows it up because you've told the teacher, but nothing's happened. Where do you think bullying happens the most?
At school.
Is it at school the most?
At school and online.
Ooh, online bullying.
Yeah.
Oh, can we talk about that for a minute?
Okay.
Okay. So where does online bullying happen? Because I'm old, so I really don't understand.
Well, it's not really bullying, but there was a person online who came up to me, and me and my best friend, we were having a sleepover, and they came up to us.
Okay.
And because we were playing this game called Roblox.
Okay.
And we were doing some dress up.
Yep.
And these girls came up to us and was telling us that we were stupid and stuff. So we just walked away.
So this is a real challenge with bullying now. It's not just school anymore. You can't just go home and get away from it. Sometimes it's going to be in other places too.
But the thing is, we only have electronics for 2 days.
Ah.
Yeah, so it makes it a lot better.
That's a good rule. I was trying to go with the 5-minute rule a day. It doesn't work very well. No, 5 minutes is just not enough.
It was 30 minutes a day, but now it's only 2 days.
Well, hey, listen, right away, first of all, good for you to follow that rule because that's a tough rule.
It's awesome.
Let's just imagine on the other end of this podcast, there is a room full of bullies, and you have a chance to give them advice, and they're actually listening. They don't know who you are, and you're going to give them some advice. What kind of advice would you give a bully to not be a bully anymore?
Maybe maybe start making good comments about yourself so you don't have to put other people down.
I asked a previous guest earlier today, is it easier to be nice to people or easier to be a bully?
It's easier to be nice because I think everybody is pretty much born nice. And then you just end up being a bully because you don't follow the rules or you just make other people feel bad.
And how do you think that'll stop? How do you think you could stop that when you're growing up?
By just ignoring everything that's negative.
Ignoring everything that's negative. I think you just got a tagline for the episode, by the way. That was amazing. We're here at the Boys and Girls Club of Durham, which is known to be a good place, right? It's a good place to be.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you, why is the Boys and Girls Club of Durham a good place to be?
Okay, that's a good question. Because you get to do very good curricular activities, like you get to do soccer, like when you first come here, and then we have homework club for the older kids. They'd like to finish their homework. So, and I feel like it's a safe place.
Listen, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Welcome.
Right, your expertise was greatly appreciated. Have a great day.